41. Welcome to lecture 41. Speak about continuous casting process. As we all know, so in the primary steel making process, there are many things happens in primary steel making, starting from iron production by blast furnace. Then that particular pig iron goes to the LD converter, converts into the steel, iron to steel. That particular molten steel is poured into the ladle. That ladle is taken into the continuous casting section or caster shop. This particular ladle have a provision of bottom slide gate nozzle from which the molten metal flows into this intermediate vessel called Tundish vessel, and from the Tundish vessel it moves to the continuous casting molds made up of copper with the submerged entry nozzle. Then it moves to the three different types of 3-strand segments. It allows to the continuous spray cooling so that it solidifies, and it moves through these rollers, top and bottom rollers continuously. The rollers also provided cooling. Then after it comes to the cutting section. Length of the section around 3 to 4 meters. It is been cut either in the form of billet. It is decided at the mold only, billet form, bloom form or slab form. These particular things are the products of continuous casting, which I am going to discuss today. Instead of LD converter, there was another private sector which has a very competitive electric arc furnace. It will take DRI from gas or coal route, DRI, combination of steel scrap. It converts into the steel and it is being taken into the ladle. Then continuous casting process. These two processes are in practice in nowadays industries. And coming to this particular products are semi-finished products. It is being taken to the mechanical working operations such as rolling and forging, converted into the final products. These final products moves to the automobile industry. If it is bloom, it is going to application of rail track. If it is slab, it can be used in the car manufacturing, cover, outer body. That particular point one need to keep in mind before knowing continuous casting process. These products dimensions broadly. How do you differentiate? Bloom is nothing but kind of rectangle cross section. Billet is a square cross section, whereas thin particular slab is long length flat sections. These things can be further converted into I sections, round sections. You can produce also, and these kind of I sections with the slab, different casting products can be produced, which are called semi-finished products. Now let me talk about the continuous casting process. One of the process which I am going to highlight here, vertical continuous casting machine. There will be a ladle from LD converter filled of molten steel, which will be around 180 to 200 tons capacity of ladle, and these particular ladles having the stopper rod. When we want to allow flow of molten steel, it is being removed in the top direction so that molten metal allows to fall through a pipe called shroud into a intermediate vessel called Tundish, and it is being wait for the Tundish vessel and allowed for the treatment of clean steel with aiding inclusions float off and inclusion modification. Then after using this stopper rod, it has been lifted up, it is allowed to the molten steel into the continuous casting copper mold. It is provided the continuous cooling and moved to the this particular bottom and top. If it is vertical, two side of rolls, it is been moved and to the this segment strands. This is one mold, one strand machine. It has been moved here, and this particular after the mold also within this particular stand, it has been continuously cooled in a cooling tower, which is in the bulk manner. It has been provided, water in and outlet is been provided, and it moves to the next section of cutting, oxyacetylene cutter, and a length of 5 to 6 meters. It is been cut and it is been moved to the final section of semi-finished goods. And but before coming into the continuous casting process, after primary steel making, many processes includes such as degassing, vacuum degassing, argon degassing, alloying additions, and composition adjustment, temperature adjustment. Many of the things will happen before going into this particular teaming ladle. So that need to appreciate. It doesn't mean that after LD converter that particular steel directly go to the continuous casting. Intermediately, the external operations, second stage of refining in the LD converter, further refining in the secondary refining units such as vacuum degassing, ladle degassing, composition adjustment. These things occur in between. One need to highlight this. This gives a conclusion of steel flows from the ladle and through the tundish intermediate vessel into the mold where it solidifies. This is nothing but a simple definition of continuous casting. The tundish is nothing but refractory lined cast iron vessel, refractory lining of fire clay powder, and it has the provision of water cooling. This continuous casting mold, which is called primary cooling zone. The height of this particular mold section is 0.8 to 1.2 meter, and it has the provision of oscillation so that it can be easily removed, the solidified and continuous casting molten steel. And secondary cooling section includes this is 8 to water spray cooling length is 8 to 10 times of this particular continuous casting mold in the second stage in between the roller. It is 8 to, this is 0.8. Please note this. This secondary cooling section is this one, strand. After the ejection of copper mold, tertiary cooling is at the withdrawal, final, at the cutting stage, which is with the radiation, with the air, atmosphere air, it gets solidifies. This is actually the dimension of 0 and 4 meter and 6 meter, 12 meters, 15 meters. This much long length bay includes in the continuous casting process. There will be torch cutter, oxyacetylene cutter, cut into the required length. Now let us know about the various modes of heat transfers within this continuous casting mold. Assume that this is a mold, this direction, and this is a mold wall, and this direction another mold wall surface. This is a mold. This particular mold wall and with the mold solidified steel assumed and analyzed for the heat transfer. For example, as you are pouring the liquid steel, it is at 1500 degrees Celsius temperature. As it is dropping down bottom of the mold, it dropped to the 1000 degrees Celsius, and there will be a gap exist between the mold wall and this liquid steel. that particular mold wall is solid in, since it is coming into the cold condition wall, it solidifies, and over this that particular the small amount of gap exists, air gap, which is nothing but air combination of this solidified steel. That is why conduction radiation transfer exists, heat transfer exists. And when you see the other section of the mold, the other side completely mold, solid mold is nothing but conduction. Or you can look this either side, there will be water cooling provided on the continuous casting mold, and this particular mold, this distance around 60 mm distance mold is nothing but conduction. And after this there will be some gap, even the molten steel as it is been filling, there will be some solidified steel and some gap. That particular gap is nothing but air gap, and that air gap is followed by solidified steel, and top section if you see liquid steel. This can be looked into this surface and this bottom one in the bottom direction, or from the surface to bottom direction. For removing the confusion, I have written these things: surface, one end surface, another end bottom, this bottom one, or with respect to this thing, this is surface and this is bottom one. And temperature at the top, it will be around 1500 degrees Celsius temperature. The solidified steel in contact between the mold, there will be air gap, that is this air gap, and mold, the rest is mold. So these are the heat transfers exist. It need to be studied more. And how do you quantify, how do you calculate heat transfer coefficient? Heat flux is dissipated from the molds, from the surface to and mold, water temperature of the water and surface of the mold, that gives an heat transfer coefficient. H mainly depends upon this heat transfer coefficient, flow of the water rate, and the requirements. If you want uniform and there should not be a large difference in heat transfer coefficient from the mold wall to solidified steel and other end. So what do you need to maintain? The water spray is supposed to be uniform in the entire mold, 360 degrees angle, and non-uniform, if it exists, there will be a temperature gradient exist, and the surface defects or surface crack exist. If high pressure oscillation is been provided, high pressure amount of with air and water spray is selected, if this process is selected, it finds some advantages. More uniform cooling rate exists, there will be less crack of on the surface of the casting, and less water requirement. So these are the things need to be keep in mind. And the conclusion about this section is, the steel flows from ladle through the tundish into the copper mold, then solidifies. Is it true? Exactly. And what are the other analyzing points with respect to this situation? Please give your opinion as a true and false statement.